further. And that is what has been happening. There has been low generation, and from the GENCOs, as we have heard, there has been low level of power generation from the GENCOs. And when there is low level of power generation from the GENCOs, there will be nothing, or there will be little or nothing for the TCN, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, to evacuate to the various load centers, which in this case, we'll be talking about the DISCOs. The DISCOs are the off-takers. They are the people that will, eventually take off the load generated by the GENCOs, and then,
comes into our homes and our businesses.
And that has been, that is the value chain. But even beyond the DISCOs, we are beyond the GENCOs, the generating companies, we also have, the GASCOs, that is the gas companies. And so the gas companies have also been complaining of not having enough gas, to supply. So when they don't supply the GENCOs, there will be nothing for the GENCOs to, they won't have, enough to generate as much as the nation needs. And so
is gas the main or the only, fuel that GENCOs use, or do they have multiple?
No, it depends. In Nigeria, we have two major sources of energy, of power generation. We have, we have the hydro power plants, and we also have the thermal power plants. The thermal power plants rely mainly on gas. And then, unfortunately for us in Nigeria, we will come back to that. You mentioned the issue of over-reliance. That is there. Unfortunately for us in Nigeria, we lean more to the thermal side, to the gas side. So, whereas you can talk of maybe just about 4 hydro power generating plants in the country, you talk of Kanji, you talk of Jeba, Shiroro, and Zungeru. Those are the hydro, the ones that are powered, through hydro system. The others, almost every other, so about 70% of our energy generation comes, via, thermal source, gas. So, I mean, it goes without saying that if there is any problem on the gas side, it will impact the whole system. And that is what we've been having, in recent time. So, the gas companies, and there is the gas companies, they are not, they are not supplying enough gas to the GENCOs. And of course, that it's not as if the gas companies don't want to supply. There are also issues on that hand. You have even the issue of pricing. How much is the gas to be priced for the GENCOs? That is an issue. The issue of debt, the debt being held the gas companies by the GENCOs is also there. The issue of vandalism of the gas pipelines is also there. So these are all issues that the gas companies are battling with. And that is why they cannot give the GENCOs enough gas supply as will be needed to power the plant and supply bulk power to TCN.
Yeah.
To TCN, so, for TCN to wheel the power, to evacuate the bulk load to the DISCOs. So that is what we've been having.
And also the frequent, perhaps, collapse of the national grid.
The frequent collapse of the national grid. Maybe I need to explain this. You see, there is a level, there is a threshold below which the system, when you generate. Let me explain very well that power comes from different sources. I have mentioned the bulk load comes from different sources. I have mentioned 4 hydro power plants. Then we have, maybe aside from the small high PPs and independent power sources and power producers, we have I think about 9 major thermal power stations. And when all those produce, when they generate, it comes into a pool. It comes into a pool that you now call the national grid. And there is, and then the balance of the pool, or the maintenance of the pool, is the business of the TCN, of Transmission Company of Nigeria, because they carry the bulk load and ensure balance. But there is a threshold below which power generation must not go. If it goes below that, it causes imbalance in the system. It causes disruption in the system. And that is what has been happening. Because, the system collapse that you are having could also be, could also result from the low generation level. When it is below, we operate at the, in this country, we operate at the level of 50 Hertz. That is our transmission system. Our grid system operates at the level of 50 Hertz. If power generation goes below that, there will be imbalance in the system. There will be disruption. So that explains why we've been having some disruption in the system in recent days, because the generation level does not match.
Okay, and so there's a sort of a base minimum.
There is
that for it to function,
yes,
appropriately.
Yes.
But most of the discos, most of the 11 discos have been blaming the whole thing on low generation and weak transmission.
That is it. If there is low generation, there will be weak transmission. So there will be load restriction, and there will be load limitation.
And what's the way out of that particular?
We are suffering. We are suffering presently. You see, our suffering presently is emanating from the fact of over-reliance on just one source of energy generation. We have that over-reliance on the thermal source. Maybe as a country blessed with so much gas resources, maybe we will not have had much issue, even if you want to rely on gas. But if you want to rely on gas, you've got to do the proper thing that you should do to ensure that the gas, flow, is does not have any issue. We have not done that. We have how strong or how stable are our infrastructures for the gas extraction and distribution. So both at the extractive end and at the distribution end, our infrastructure for gas evacuation and distribution is very, very weak.
Well, and this is a serious problem, because apart from the homes, apart from the domestic, which people tend to always look at as, it's important, but hardly critical. Businesses, the entertainment industry, hoteliers, and all sorts of businesses, with the current price of fuel, which we all know the reason for, it just is adding, because they have to revert to generators. We know what that is going to look like. We know what
jacking up the cost of business, and then they need to transfer, they need to transfer that to the the consumers,
and that is wrecking the bottom line of a lot of businesses. And unfortunately, it's getting increasingly popular, this whole matter of solar generation. A lot of people, when I say solar on a small scale, there are quite a number of people who were getting by hoping that the generator was not getting as much use as it used to get, simply because they now have a solar device or contraption. But all of that has been wiped out in recent times when it's been consistent. So this is not a problem that we can really afford for it to persist, can we?
No, we can't. We can't allow it to persist. And that is why, I was saying that we need to now start looking at, exploring other sources. There are so many other sources of energy generation being explored by other nations of the world. And there is none of them that we are not blessed with in this country. You talk of wind energy.
My mind went there. Were you going to say that?
You know,
are we suitable? Are we suitably placed to be able to key into that potential?
We are not, because we have not planned for it. It is not as if it is not doable for us, especially in the northern part of the country. You understand?
Is it particularly windy?
Yeah.
Because some states around the world are called the windy states in some countries.
So in some states of the north, you understand, we can explore the wind option.
Okay.
And it is cheaper, you understand, and it is also scalable. Scalable in the sense that you can do it incrementally.
Okay.
You understand? Okay. You do it on a small scale. Now you have to read. And the advantage of wind energy is that you don't even need so much land to do it. On a farmland, you install your windmill, and
this
you
had work by wind turbines, right?
Yes,
but
yes.
I thought you had to, because I've heard in other areas of wind farms, where these turbines, you look at it, it goes for a long stretch. But maybe those are being done on a commercial scale.
And that's why I've said that it depends on the scale. Okay. It depends on the scale that you want to operate with. You understand? So it is. We have said, that's why we say it is scalable. You understand? So that is even nations are also exploring the option of ocean. Tidal waves. They are, nations are,
sort of, that one would sort of double bank with hydro.
Well,
double bank a bit.
But it's different. We are talking of the waves now, the tidal, the waves and the tides of ocean. You make use, you explore it, and then, for the hydro, you dam.
Yes, you dam.
You dam.
And then use the power.
So, but even you have not. Some people will argue that we have not. The ones we are battling with, we have not even gotten. Yes, we have not even gotten made any headway. And you are talking of, like you have said, are you not being too ambitious? But then, must you stay on the same level? Forever?
Okay. Because what we're doing right now is looking at
options.
Let me bring in, somebody has called in and is on hold right now.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. George. Good morning, can you hear us? Good morning, Mr. George, calling in from Ikeja. I hope the telecom people...
Hello, good morning.
Aha, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear.
Okay, good morning, and good morning to your guest, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in. Good morning.
In the area that I live, since last Saturday, there has been no light. So as far as Easter is concerned in this place, everybody
is in
the dark.
That's what we're talking about.
Uncle Yori, if you recall, the last time we discussed this matter on this program, I said the Minister of Power has not given us his roadmap. Up to now, I'm not aware that his roadmap has been made public. All I hear is that challenges, price increase, as if he's there marketing officer for the discos. We did not hire the minister to come and give us excuses. He's not the only minister in this country that is working with the president. You have the minister of war, Dave Umahi. Have you ever heard him complaining? We have Minister of Internal Affairs. We have the FCT Minister. We have the Aviation Minister. We have the Finance Minister, the Budget Minister. We have the Trade and Industry Minister, a woman. Delivery. We have Mines and Steel. We have IT. We have CBN Governor. We have FIRC. We have Director of Customs. We have NDLEA. Are these people not working for this same government? Do they not have the same challenges? Please. Enough of excuses. We want delivery.
All right.
And if he cannot do it, he should please get out. This man should not come and spoil the name of the president and the task he has undertaken to do for this country.
Okay.
He should remove it. Let them bring El-Rufai back to that ministry. He's the one who prepared himself for it. I don't believe in the excuses they are giving.
Okay, Mr. George.
I'm just fed up of this.
It shows in your tone. Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George, and laying it down like that. Because it's not, many people will say, people like Mr. George, or indeed not so much people like Mr. George, anybody with with an analytical kind of capacity will say that it's a problem. It has to be solved.
It has to be solved.
And we need to be hearing what the roadmap to that solution is.
To buttress Mr. George's submission, barely just 11 days or thereabout, or let me say, barely, maybe less than a month in office, when the president, this current president, assumed power last year. By June, I think June 23rd to be precise, the new Electricity Act was signed into law.
That's right.
And that law kind of, devolved power, the power of electricity generation, transmission, and distribution from the central government to the subnationals, the states. But I know that, so meaning that the burden or the responsibility of power generation, transmission, and distribution was taken from the central and then given to the states to also come and play their part. But that law also says that for any state to fully come on board, it must enact its own electricity law. So I think Nigerians, I will come to the angle of the power minister, I hope time permits. Nigerians must not just fix their gaze on the federal government alone now, because the law now allows the state governments, the subnationals, to come, into the fray and play their own.
Provided they enact
their own law, which means you need to be prepared. You don't just jump into the fray and then you see. Enacting your own law means that you set up a regulatory framework, for your own power industry, so to speak. Yes, so what have the states been doing? So we need to also interrogate that. So
maybe we need to also hear from the ministry, from the power ministry, because people are getting to where that caller, Mr. George, is at. That look, if you can't do it, can you move on?
No. The power is that same law that I just referred to also stipulates that within a year of the promulgation of that act, the Ministry of Power is expected to come up with the Ministry of Power is expected to come up with a master plan, for the power industry in this. So by June, it will have been a year. Yeah. I do not know, because the law requires that the Ministry of Power should within a year come up with a master plan for the power industry, so there should be, that speaks to the roadmap that Mr. George had talked about.
So before you continue, sir, Balogun, I think Prince Balogun has called in from Ojodu Burger. Good morning, Mr. Balogun.
Good morning, Uncle Yari.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Okay. Good morning to your guests here, too.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Then, sir, like what Mr. George just, said now. Sir, the way things is going, just note this, my, comment and, statement down. You will see that the first years of, President Tinubu, we won't celebrate anything about light. I'm telling you, just note it down. We won't celebrate anything about light. Let this government do light. Let there be light everywhere. In China, in America, in Germany, even in South Africa. Don't come to be talking English. If the Minister of Power cannot work, let them be removed. Just with such a time that this government has entered there, we will see, changes in like additional side, in some other sector. Let them be removed. We cannot be living in darkness for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
It's not wrong. Let them be removed. Every time we borrow money or fuel, how can one be buying fuel? Just a small generator, 10,000 every day. Can these people send that money to electricity? See, Uncle Yori, they can make more money in electricity than petroleum or whatever in this country, if there's light everywhere throughout the country, they will be making trillions because everybody who wants to use light with a prepaid meter everywhere, they will make more money.
All right then. Well, thank you very much, Prince Balogun. Thank you very much. Doubling George's call there is the same theme that we need problem solvers.
Yes.
We need people of ideas. And this is what people are thinking, that look, it's a problem. That's why there are people in charge and they expect ideas. And at least 2 people now have gotten exasperated and are calling for the, well, how does one put it? They actually are calling for the minister to be moved on. Either he moves himself on or they move him on, because we're not getting any explanation or ideas.
I really cannot blame Nigerians, for holding that view. You can't, like I was going to, like I was explaining that the act that this current president signed into law last year, expects that within a year of its coming into force, the Ministry of Power will come up with a very clear roadmap.
Do you have any progress report on that? Yes.
So that, it will by June.
That's what George was asking for.
So by June,
I've not seen any roadmap.
So we've not seen that roadmap. And you see, having any issue, having a problem is not really, or any challenge is not really the issue. The issue is how are you tackling the problem that you have. And that is what Nigerians want to see. I believe that even if by now, maybe that we have not really had any headway on solving the power crisis, but Nigerians are kept abreast of efforts being made and the blueprint that is on ground to tackle the problem, that by in 3 months' time we will have done this, in 6 months' time we will have done this. So Nigerians will exercise some patience.
Because all we're getting from Power Minister Adelabu is that, look, government is working on it and they're tackling the base problems, and these issues will soon be over. Generic.
I want to align myself with the position. I'm not saying that to the extent that it should be removed, I can't say anything about that because it's the prerogative of the president. But to the extent that it should, avail us of, the
explanation
of what is happening and the plans on ground.
What is he contending with?
And the plans on ground to actually solve, to actually tackle whatever is contending with. You understand? You may be contending with something, and if you are contending with something and you are doing it and nobody knows what, you are like a man winking in the dark. So you are, the power minister, should not be acting like a man winking in the dark. A man winking in the dark knows he's doing something, but nobody else is aware. Knows that he's doing anything.
Let me bring on Barini in Port Harcourt. Did I get that right? Good morning. Barini?
Good morning. Yes, this is Barini. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please. You're on air now.
Please, this question of wind turbine, everywhere in the Niger Delta, Barini, B-A-R-I-N. Yes, anywhere in the Niger Delta, the wind is everywhere, and this wind turbine can be used.
Please continue. You were saying that just about everywhere in the Niger Delta,
there is
wind that can power wind turbines.
Yes, there is enough wind that can be used for this wind turbine to generate electricity. So it's a question of using it.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for contributing that. But you were breaking your communication. But
I think we've added
to it that indeed, yes, there are areas that are windy enough.
What this speaks to is just the fact that we are not exploring enough options for our power challenges. even aside from wind, there is also biomass. The waste, energy can be generated from waste. So these are some.
When
so
you
many
say waste, that is waste, both domestic and
yes,
the other type.
Yes,
that is from heating it up, burning it, and the heat that's generated.
Well, whether you heat, whether you burn, you understand. The fact remains that it is a source that is untapped.
What is it called?
Biomass.
Biomass. Okay.
Biomass.
Is it in any way connected with the Olushosons of this world?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is. Okay. It is. The Olushosons you have here, you understand.
Is a veritable source.
It's a veritable source.
But untapped.
Untapped.
Wind. Untapped.
Untapped.
You talked about
ocean.
Waves. Untapped.
Untapped.
Might these require the kind of infrastructure that is lacking, and that is why they're
concentrating? I think there is also geothermal, untapped.
Yeah. Well, geothermal, aren't we beginning to look underground into where volcanoes have their own activity? Isn't it that kind of area?
No, but I know that, yes, tapping from the heat, you understand, inside the environment, and then...
Whereas all of these are very nice to know, sir. Perhaps...
Yes.
Some might say academically.
Yes.
But
beyond that, if it is being done elsewhere, why not here?
We seem to have the infrastructure mostly for hydro
and thermal.
And thermal. And these things are not exactly cheap. So maybe the minister, when we finally come to hear about him in layman's language too, let him continue to speak for the experts, but also to the layman. Maybe we'll find out that there are constraints. But right now, people are saying, look, sir, you'd better move on if you don't know what to do.
These options that we are, talking about, I don't know whether it is possible. Probably the Minister of Power or the Ministry of Power, is also looking into those directions. So but how do we know?
Everything.
How do we know that they are doing anything? And how soon are they going to, are those plans going to crystallize into,
but the latest is that the Minister of Power has appealed to Nigerians to be a bit more patient.
Yes, Nigerians will,
and that is the kind of thing that annoyed Balogun calling him from Ojo.
If you ask me to be patient,
even Mr. George in Lagos,
I will be patient. If you ask me to be patient, if there is a timeline to my, patience, to my endurance, if there is a timeline, but if it's an unending one, that is when people, become worried.
Maybe we need to grab hold, if we can, of the TCN chief executives and all of those kind of people to come and talk to us with facts and figures, because they know all these things. And
the TCN, like I've told you, the TCN will also tell you that if nothing is coming from the Gencos, there is nothing, there is little that they can do. And as a matter of fact, they will tell you that is the cause of the imbalance in their own system.
Yes.
So I think that, but whether you talk of the TCN, you talk of the discos, or you talk of the Gencos or the Gascos, we have a coordinating agency, which is the Ministry of Power, and the Minister of Power sits atop all of this.
Indeed.
So it sits atop all of this, and is supposed to, so let Nigerians know what job of coordination of the various, segments of the power value chain, what it is doing to solve the power challenges in the country.
In short, Nigerians want better service delivery.
That is what Nigerians, because
even as they themselves are talking about the TCNs of this world, they're talking about vandalism, they're talking about electricity theft.
No, that one is there too.
All of these things are factored in.
Even at the gas end, you also have the problem. We have said that one of the problems we are having is low gas supply. And one of the problems of low gas supply is gas line, vandalism. gas line, gas pipeline vandalism. That is there too. So, but whether you talk of vandalism, whether you talk of pricing, whether you talk of regulatory issue, you understand, causing disruption in the value chain, the Ministry of Power, you understand, is the one we know that has that onerous duty of coordinating and ensuring, yes,
onerous. But
yes.
But that a person was put in there because he was thought to be a round peg in a round hole.
So
it's not a walk in the park.
It isn't.
So, but people expect beyond what
beyond rhetorics,
has said,
beyond rhetorics, beyond buck passing, beyond the appeal, appeal for patience. People we want to see real service, real-time service delivery. You understand? Based on timelines. Because there should be timelines.
And why this is tremendously important is that, so what is a country without power? And Mr. President is busy looking for investors, inviting investors, and this is going to be a drain. What are investors to do? To go and install these mammoth generators and then begin to incur these horrible costs, whereupon the whole thing won't be anymore. Because it's an emergency.
When an investor talks about cost of doing, ease of doing business, it is things like this that will be factored in. How available is power in your country if I want to come and do business in your country. So these are some of the things that that is why Nigerians cannot wait to see this power crisis tackled headlong. And
this is among what Mr. President had promised would be squarely confronted and addressed.
Yes.
And that's why George was saying that anybody who is messing around with a roadmap that Mr. President had said generally, we need to sit down and talk. Are you going to remain in place, or are you going to have to move on?
Or you move on.
Okay, I want to thank you very much, Mr. Ademola Adegoke.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate you coming along and helping us make sense of this. We've made sense of it.
My pleasure.
But the pain remains. Okay, the Power Minister has said, endure a bit. Okay, here we are enduring, but we can't endure forever.
No, it can't be forever. It can't be forever.
So thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Okay, we'll take a quick break now. Then when we come back, we'll look at another important issue. Are palliatives being stolen? Palliative grains. We'll go over to Brini Kebbi as an issue and hear about that. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back.
The Inspector General of Police has met with senior officers to review the state of security.
We are continuing our coverage of the arrest of Godwin Emefiele.
The Senate has summoned the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to properly brief the Senate regarding the state of the economy.
President Bola Tinubu has announced the total removal of fuel subsidy.
The fresh subsidy is gone. What I will never take is threat.
Let's now bring you more developments from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, where an explosion has taken place. Tell us about this incident.
TVC News. First with breaking news.
Ramadan, the 9th month in the Islamic calendar, is here again. This is a wonderful time to learn more about Islam and give to the cause of Allah. It's also a time when extra emphasis is on charity and good neighborliness. From the first day to the last day of Ramadan, join us on TVC from 3 to 6 a.m. every day for Ramadan Kareem. Recitation of verses in the Quran, tafsir by great Islamic scholars. Ask the Sheikh for clarity on Ramadan and Islam. What's more, you can learn and win great prizes on the Ramadan quiz segment, all spiced up with soul-stirring nasheed.
Asking for a sign from you, 'cause I'm so broke inside.
Ramadan Kareem on TVC from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. every day in Ramadan. To participate, call or visit our marketing department, TVC Communications Limited, 1 Continental Way, off CMD Road, Ikosi K2, Lagos. Telephone 0708 066 8003 or 0708 066 8004. You can also log on to www.tvccommunications.tv. Ramadan Kareem.
Okay then, thank you for staying with us, and indeed welcome if you're just joining us. You're just in time to catch our second subject, and here we want to look at the story that's been swirling around in recent times about the stealing of palliative grains coming out of burning Kebbi. Our guest this time is Comrade Usman Mohammed Anache. Is Secretary of the Kebbi State Association for Peace and Good Governance. Indeed, good morning to you if you are in place. Oh, there you are. A fine morning to you. Thank you very much for making the time for us, sir. We're trying to get to the bottom of all of this, and we've been hearing that, the headlines can be a bit confusing, that when you look at warehouses being looted, that actually these are, they belong to Burning Kebbi local government area, and the government in Kebbi has said that all of its palliatives have been actually been distributed. The warehouses that were looted reportedly belong to the Dangote Foundation, and this was affirmed, or this was stated by the Commissioner for Agriculture and Natural Resources, Alhaji Shehu Muazu, who spoke at a press conference following an emergency executive session to talk about these issues. That session was chaired by the Deputy Governor, Senator Umar Abubakar. Are you in agreement with that position, sir? Because people hearing the news that, what? This is outrageous. Palliative grains looted? What can you tell us, sir, by way of facts?
Yes. Actually, it was unfortunate. What I want the whole world to know is this. In Kebbi, it is not our tradition to loot. It is not our culture. It is not our history. So it was just unfortunate that this has happened in Burning Kebbi, which is not part of our upbringing and the historical and the background of the state. Actually, what happens was that what really caused the problem is that, first of all, everybody knows that there was hunger in the country, Kebbi State inclusive. So we cannot deviate from that. That the people are hungry, and the whole nation, not only Kebbi, are having the same problem. Secondly, the Kebbi State government has successfully launched grain distribution and RIMA, where the silos of the state and the federal belongs, and it was launched successfully by the executive governor of Kebbi State, Comrade Dr. Nasro Idris Kaurangwandu. And after the successful distribution, launching of the program, the governor did not hide anything from the teeming population of Kebbi State. he willingly said that the grants at the launching site are 20% of what is going to be distributed to the people. The remaining 80 are on the way or are in other government stores that needs to be distributed in a short period of time. It is not easy for any government at this time to mobilize and get the required grants they need for their population. So that is why the launching has to be delayed to that time when the state governor has launched it, because whenever the contractors that are awarded the contract to supply the grants to the state government scout for the grants are not much available in many quarters, because all the states are buying at the same time. The federal government is also buying at the same time. The local people are buying at the same time. Our contractors that are handling the supply sometimes have to go outside the country to scout for paddy rice so that they can process it, and that's what constituted the little delay we have, and the people has understand the scenario behind the issues of this grants of palliatives. However, in this particular incident that happens was not Kebbi State stores that was looted. It was the palliative from I think Dangote Foundation that was brought to Kebbi. The issue of changing the attitudes of people suddenly from good to bad, or from the way we had been brought up to just start looting, as it has gone viral in so many medias, was a factor of so many factors. The first factor is that the people handling the distribution of Dangote palliatives in the state decided to play it in as if it is a cover-up operation. They did not involve the state government. They did not involve the emirs. They did not involve the religious leaders, the traditional leaders. Even we, the NGOs, were not involved. We are not even aware of what is happening. Secondly, they come and deposited some of these grants in permanent site of the Polytechnic, Wazir Umar Polytechnic, which is about 4 kilometers away from the town center. And it took them 3 days. The palliatives are there lying down, and the people are seeing them. What this thing is for what? This is for what? There was sketchy information. There was no any information on what exactly it is happening. So people decided to see that what is happening. Then during the 4th day, when they started distribution, the distribution was not clear. Nobody in Kebbi can tell you this is precisely what is happening. So that's what prompted the people to start looting at that permanent site. And one that people pick at the Kara market, where the grains market is, it is this very implementers of these Dangote palliatives that took the trucks to the Kara market, where the famous grains market in Birnin Kebbi is. And the people are saying that the trucks are being uploaded into a commercial shops, that the shops does not belong to the government. The shops belongs to the people who are selling grains in that market. And these not for sale bags of rice are being offloaded in those stores. So this brings, and in the presence of the public. So this brought so many suspicions by the public that, no, look, these people are trying to, at least, are they selling this product that was brought to us free of charge? Or what exactly is happening? So there is total, as if a shady or cover up from the actual people that are implementing that program. And
Was it a cover-up or a confusion? I deliberately did not interrupt you, didn't want to, so that we could get particularly what you wanted to say. Was it more? Was it a confusion or a cover-up? Because it surely is irregular for a donor such as Dangote Foundation to try to do everything by itself without, as you put it, involving the state authorities, without involving the emirs. In short, pulling a one-man show. It's highly irregular. So have you been able to investigate to find out how did that state of affairs come to be?
Yes, during our investigation after the incidents, we were even informed that some of them doesn't even want the state government to be aware of what they are doing.
I see.
So you can, yes. So if it is that, because you see, if at all the state government is involved in this, and there's no way you can come to the state and implement any program. Even the federal government cannot come to the state and implement any program without involving the state government.
I see.
And if it does that, the program will not succeed. So instead of taking these palliatives at least to the emir's palace or to the stadium or the government silos, where the security will be provided. Yeah.
One person, we have someone on the line. If I could listen carefully, the comrade Onaje. Onaje from Kebbi is calling in. Okay, go right ahead, please. Now that you've come in, go ahead, comrade.
Okay, so at least the palliatives should be given. The state government must be involved. The security agencies must be involved. The palliatives were distributed in other states, not only in Kebbi. What happens in other states like Kano? It was successful.
Sorry, one moment, sir. I signed on the caller. I told him to go ahead, but because we haven't heard from him, you mistakenly continued. I was asking the caller to go right ahead. Okay, now if you could put the name of the caller on, he will see that he is on. A comrade, right? Yes. Could you identify yourself, please, comrade?
Yes, actually, that was what transpired here in permanent site.
Okay.
Permanent site.
Okay. Okay.
Place where
the way it has been explained to us. Okay,
yes.
By your namesake. The way it has been explained to us by your namesake, right?
Yes.
Usman Mohammed Anache.
What transpired? The issue is that they kept this thing in convocation ground. And they kept it for the past 3 days without distributing it. And that was what caused the whole problem.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, that was what caused you have called it problem. Our guest, comrade Anache, Secretary Kebbi State Association for Peace and Good Governance, called it a cover-up, and I was wondering if it was a confusion generally. But my big confusion now is why any donor would want to do things on its own on such a scale. It can't possibly. I mean, that would seem to be commonsensical. It can't be done, but apparently, from very good testimony, that was attempted. So, back to you, Comrade Usman Mohammed Anache, and I now have to use all of the names so as to avoid the confusion. That's the situation that we have on our hands now, right? Now, are those grains gone? Is there anything that can be retrieved? What's the very situation? It's a very embarrassing situation. As you said, it's not in the character of the people of Kebbi, but what happened.
Yes. We cannot even ascertain what exactly. Look, we don't even know the quantity that was supplied to Kebbi State. We don't know who supplied the quantity. We don't know the handlers.
Oh dear,
Government was not involved. Security agencies were not involved until when the people start that looting at the main, and these grains drove the trucks to main grains market in the Birnin. offloading to the private shops. So in the presence of the public, so there must be some kind of a mixed reaction that what is really happening. Well, and the people are trying, I think the handlers are trying to compromise with the traders so that they can maybe sell the something that is given to them free. So this is what really was all the situation.
Well,
this is the
well, I want to thank you for coming on our program and explaining this. And the person who called in actually, confusingly, is your namesake. And so there was a bit of a confusion there. But we do know that there was that the Commissioner for Agriculture and Natural Resources, Alhaji Shehu Muazu, had spoken at a press conference following an emergency state executive meeting. Maybe the state government itself was surprised. So we probably we'll stay on this on subsequent programs to get a better sense of how the mistake / cover-up / confusion came to happen, it being such a reputable organization as Dangote being involved. Did they really try and do it all on their own? For what purpose? But thank you very much, Comrade Usman Mohammed Anache, Secretary, Kebbi State Association for Peace and Good Governance, for coming on our program this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, then. So we're going to have to leave it there for now. We certainly would like to get a bit more to the bottom of this particular issue. Maybe that will be the case in subsequent editions of the program as we see the road a bit more clearly. Maybe we'll be able to hear from Dangote Foundation themselves. So that's our program today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folare. Bye-bye for now.
Sachets. It has a thick formula, so all you need is just one sachet for your toilet bowl. It gives 10 times better cleaning and big savings too.
Wow, Helen!
Sparkling clean toilet with Hapik Sachet.
Kende suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Today, there are many complex, boring, expensive and useless exercise machines in the market. Or you pay over 400,000 Naira a year for gym membership and never go. ShopX TV is proud to introduce Total Crunch Evolution, the compact, versatile fitness solution that is perfect for you. With Total Crunch, you get a complete fitness workout in one machine. Say goodbye to ineffective and complicated exercise machines. Now, you have the power to transform your fitness journey and get the body you have always wanted right in the comfort of your own home. Total Crunch is the efficient and effective way to build muscle, tone and tighten your legs, shape your back and pectorals, while strengthening your core and defining your abs. Now that's totally effective to get the body you want. With Total Crunch, your whole body works out at the same time. Only Total Crunch can put your whole